Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. Let me see how my theory does on the tests, but I think the early stage projects that win this cycle of the quality project, like Solana did last time or ETH did before, will all be low float. There might be one that isn't, but a low float is pretty much the best. Since I've seen this happen in markets, I know that low float stock is common in old style markets. You get one big customer, it goes crazy. Bitcoin bubble stands out because it is clear and easy to understand. There's no limit to who can join, no matter how much they know about crypto or how new they are to it. Guess who is watching us now? Robert Kiyosaki is the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad. We'd also like to use this chance to thank everyone who put their trust in us. The best part is that it's free and we read all of them. If you sign up now, you'll get all the new information for free. Stay ahead of the trends instead of just following them. Sign up for Bitcoin Bubble right now and enjoy the new edge. Raoul Pal talks about the future of crypto adoption, his guess for the price of Bitcoin, and a lot more in today's film. As for these low flow tokens, I've also been thinking about them. One thing that comes to mind is that the market now values them less. Because of this, you have a good chance to make a choice in markets that are liquid. Since you know what to do, I think you should decide what to do. That's no longer an option. Yes, when supply and demand are unknown in a normal market, things get difficult. Demand is known, but quantity is not. You can make a copy of something and the other side. Because we now have the unlocks, I look at these and think I know what the supply is going to be. The tokens have been marked down because there aren't many of them. Then you know that if demand comes, it's a huge beta for a low float. It will also make it very hard for everyone to understand what low float means in this bull market. All of them will be wrong. And they'll be wrong because there won't be a lot of float, but there will be a lot of demand because some of these projects are really great. This will make the risk returns very uneven. No one seems to get this because they think that future token unlocks always mean the price is going down. They will likely go down more than others in a bear market. But I think this is very interesting when the market is rising and there isn't much float. And I think they will all do better. One of the things that, I was in the class of 2013 with Bitcoin. One thing I saw right away was how it would change the game in terms of both making money and bringing people together based on their interests. This is the behavioral economics side of things, because when you add new people to a network, the value of each ticket goes up because of Metcalfe's law. This makes the network more valuable, which lets you start businesses very quickly. That's still something I think people don't fully understand what it means. It does seem like there are some unfair rewards going on now, like airdrops or farming it. I believe the initial coin offering ECL was the start of something much bigger. But we need to go back there. After crossing $1 trillion, Warren Buffett's company Berkshire Hathaway is now worth almost as much as the whole Bitcoin market. By August 28th, Berkshire Hathaway stock had gone up 0.75%, putting its value above the $1 trillion mark. So far in 2024, the stock has gone up by more than 29%, which is more than the 17% rise in the S&P 500 and less than Bitcoin's 31% rise in the same time period. As of August 29th, BTC's market value is $1.18 trillion. The small difference between Bitcoin's and Berkshire Hathaway's year-to-date results shows an interesting point. Warren Buffett is known to dislike cryptocurrencies and call Bitcoin rat poison. But in 2024, his investment plan has pretty much matched Bitcoin's performance. This means that people who own Bitcoin are doing just as well as the Oracle of Omaha. Meanwhile, Berkshire has made huge profits in 2024 thanks to its wide range of businesses in areas such as energy, manufacturing, retail, services, and insurance. In the first half of the year, these sectors made $22.8 billion in profit, which is 26% more than the same time last year. Even though Bitcoin is becoming more important as a currency, Buffett has no plans to move his cash to Bitcoin, especially since January, when Bitcoin spot exchange traded funds ETFs were first introduced in the US. In the last 10 years, Berkshire Hathaway stock has constantly done worse than Bitcoin. It has dropped 99.98% since its 2011 high compared to Bitcoin and USD. The Nakamoto portfolio simulator shows that adding even 1% Bitcoin to Berkshire Hathaway's current portfolio would have a big impact. With Apple, Bank of America, and American Express among its top stock purchases, it could have raised returns from about 185% to 207% over a 5-year period. Also, Buffett could have made great returns of 130.97% to 279.64% by putting 5% to 10% of his portfolio into Bitcoin during the same time frame. A lot of you know that I've worked in hedge funds for about 30 years. I used to talk to and give advice to the biggest hedge funds in the world. When I worked at Goldman Sachs, I was in charge of that business and advised the biggest hedge funds in the world. I also made trades for them. Then I went to work for GLG Partners, which is one of the biggest hedge funds in the world, and started and ran the global macro hedge fund. So I could live a better life. I quit the rat race in 2004 and went to the Mediterranean coast of Spain. That's where I began with Global Macro Investor. This is the kind of high-end study service I write now, 20 years later. That is again read by and directed at the biggest hedge funds, sovereign wealth funds, family offices, and people with a lot of money. The hedge funds have kept me alive. I can talk to them. I live in that world. A lot of them are my friends. I also made a business out of this idea, which is called exponential adjusted management, because I believe that hedge funds are the best way to make money. The crypto markets will go from being worth about $2 trillion now to being worth about $100 trillion by 2032, according to the alpha in markets. That's a huge increase, and Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum alone won't be able to cover it all. It's really hard to move further out on the risk curve, but we need to be able to. I'm not able to do it. This is something that hedge funds do really well. This is what they do. They are always on the lookout for alpha and chances. I really enjoy talking to hedge funds because they have a lot of money at stake. The money they have comes from both their own savings and money from investors. That's why it's their job to focus on the best chances based on return compared to risk. I don't disagree, but right now I'm still pretty much sold. But I've been thinking about this layer 2 vs ETH thing, and I'm not sure the market has it right yet. It seems like they are seen as parasitic because they only use a small amount of the ETH that is being used. Metcalfe's law, the network value, and the L2s are all part of the total value moved, which is why I think ETH is valued. This is also why ETH is more valuable than Solana right now. It's even bigger when you look at how many apps have been made on it. The action is still very high when you look at the layer 2s. I don't think we really know how to value this or what the market is telling us yet, and I could be completely wrong about this too, because I believe that markets are pretty good at setting prices for these things. As of now, Ethereum has been falling compared to other cryptocurrencies for a few months now. Either that, or we don't fully understand what is being built, since I think we all believe in this multi-chain world. That's why the pie grows. It's not like one is better than the other. What do you think about that? Take a look at the layer 2s in the value flow. Where does the value grow? Another interesting thing is that the base has shown us that we don't even need a symbol for a layer 2. Bitcoin fell below the important 200-day EMA for the third time in August and below the $60,000 psychological level this week. Its recent drop from $65,000 to $58,000 has made it